All
How
right.
was the movie?
Well, we're about to tell you.
Yeah, we're about to tell you.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to May Monkey Madness, the series where we cover the Planet of the Apes movies. We've just finished the Caesar trilogy. You can watch all of the videos up now on our channel. We have a playlist for May Monkey Madness for all three of those movies. Now, we are going to be covering Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. And with me today, I have... Yes, so this film takes place generations after Caesar's time. This does not follow any apes that we directly know of. These are all brand new characters. We do get a ton of mentions to previous characters, but for the most part, this is a completely new story. We follow the main ape, Noah, who is this young, up-and-coming ape. I can't say man, but who's trying to find his place in the world. He is the son of the clan. Wasn't an elder, but was like a
Bird
master. So he has a lot of weight on his shoulders, trying to figure out how to learn how to command eagles and properly train them. Until one day, his village gets ransacked by this other ape colony or group, and he vows to get all of his people back and bring his people home. And yeah, for the most part, that's the movie. It is just this journey of this ape and the many characters he comes across along the way, trying to get his people back from Proximus Caesar. I'm just going to say, I really enjoyed this film. I had a really good time watching this. It's a very fun adventure film. Very, I wouldn't say simple, but simple enough that it's not going to leave you like, what is going on? I don't understand anything going on. For every moment that it tries to hit, it hits it very well. And that's the best thing I could say about any film. Adrian, you did see this with me. Yen, you did not.
He's here for the ride.
He's just here for the ride. He's been here since the beginning, it's only fair he's here at the end of our journey. So, Adrian, what were your thoughts on the movie? I know I kind of just said what I liked about the film, or what I thought about the overall film. Can you tell me what you liked about the film, or what you thought of it?
I thought this movie was amazing in telling a entirely different story, but still building off the original three. We get this whole new character, whole new plot line, another antagonist. The story itself is engaging. It's fresh in a sense. It follows a common plot that I won't go into, but it expands upon it very, very well. It's just a terrific movie. I loved watching this, and I am happy that you introduced this to me and allowed me to watch this trilogy and this fourth.
Yeah, no problem. I love these films, and it was fun getting to talk about these films to people who've never really cared about them or wanted to get into them. So
I went into the first movie without watching it.
I know.
I reviewed it.
I was the only one reviewing it. But
yeah, and now here I am watching all of them and now reviewing the recent ones. So yeah, fuck yeah.
Yen, I will say you don't need to really have seen the original films to watch this new one. They do a pretty good job at the beginning, kind of setting up what has happened. So,
well, that's pretty good.
This is a completely different world than the one we've experienced so far with the Caesar trilogy. One of the things I was really looking forward to in this new film was getting to see different ape cultures. And I feel like this film really delivered in that case. You have the Eagle Clan, which is pretty much Noah's group of people. And then you have Proximus's kingdom that he's developing. And the different ways they develop each culture is really interesting. The Eagle Clan's more trying to be one with nature and trying to not develop technology, but just learn how to better coexist with where they're at. Whereas Proximus's apes are learning to be more militaristic, developing new weapons. They've somehow managed to develop electricity into electric weapons like batons, spear batons, tasers, and stuff like that. There's this one ape named Raka, who I'll let Adrian talk about in a bit, where we get to learn that there's this like religious sect who just believe in the words of Caesar and trying to uphold his philosophy on how to work with humans, how to treat humans, and such. And I find that all really interesting. Adrian, I'll kind of let you talk about Raka because he was a pretty fun character, and I think might have some things to say.
Yeah, I really loved his inclusion in this movie. He kind of served as a balance for Noah throughout the film, teaching one side, and then eventually, well, I can't really say the next part without being a spoiler, but like eventually Noah learns the other side through Proximus's viewpoint. So, yeah. So he acted like a really nice balance between that and also being able to call back on the previous movies on just Caesar's beliefs and not really bring up everything that happened, but just the main point on how we are here today and how that impacts the entire thing. So I think he's just a perfect character that way. He was funny, he was informative. I mean, I don't know what else to say besides I love this character.
I guess the other thing I want to talk about is I was really curious how they were going to do the human element in this movie, and like because I also feel like it's really simple to be like, oh, now that these humans are practically like cattle, because again, if what happened at the end of War for Planet of the Apes, humans have now regressing back into like simple-minded creatures, kind of like herd animals. So part of me was just like, okay, so they're just gonna make a clear analogy of like, oh, now that they're like cattle, we should treat humans with respect and see them as good, and not kill them and not hurt them and not like do anything bad to them. But they really don't go that route. But they kind of are like, no, humans are still shitty.
Yeah.
And I really like that getting expressed through this character. She has a name. She has two names actually. One given and the other one being her actual name. But I don't want to spoil so much, so we'll leave that into like our little spoiler segment at the end. But I really like the character that she portrayed in the film, and yeah, we'll get into more of that later. If we can't really talk much about humans, I guess we could continue to talk about apes. What a great villain in Proximus Caesar.
I absolutely loved him.
Just a fun, not comically evil, but in that like he's big and loud and like he commands a crowd. And, well, first of all, it's really fun to see a monkey in a crown. I think that's kind of funny. But the way he like conducts himself and his overall mannerisms were really funny. Just the way he says certain things of like, "Do you have more like that?" Like that was pretty funny to me. But what I really like about him is, yes, he is like physically imposing because he's like a big bonobo. But find it really interesting how he uses like religion to manipulate people.
Huh.
What?
Sounds a little real.
Well, think about it. Like he uses like he twists
words. He twisted words. Yeah.
He twists the words of Caesar and like, oh, apes together strong. Well, then I gotta raise a kingdom. I gotta raise an empire here. I gotta take people from their villages and make a bigger colony.
Exactly.
And I found that really interesting and like.
I loved it. I loved that angle.
And when he kind of explains his thought process to our main character at one point,
you understand him.
Yeah, it's kind of like Koba's belief in like, look, those humans are gonna want what they had before, and they're gonna try to kill us. Like, we gotta do something about it. Like, we can't just let them like stomp over us and put us back in cages. We gotta do something. And to that point of view, I was like, okay, I could kind of see where you're coming from here. But I just think you're going about it in a really bad way and like sacrificing other apes. I'm trying to think, Adrian, do you have anything else to say about Proximus? Because I just thought his overall like performance was really fun.
Well, without going way into him, I just loved him as a villain. That's all I can really say.
I'll say this: my favorite villains of these Planet of the Apes movies are always the ape villains. So like Koba and now Proximus. I always find their villainy very interesting. And that it's not just like I hate monkey.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, like just it's a really fun villain that I really enjoyed seeing in this film, and happy to see him included amongst the series. Oh wait, you know what we should talk about? Special
Hmm.
effects.
Oh yeah, please go ahead.
Oh my god, dude! Like there was moments in this movie where my brain like processed certain images like, oh, that's real. But when I look in the frame, it's a chimpanzee fighting a gorilla with armor on. I'm like, oh, it looks real. Then I'm like, wait, that can't be real. And there's certain moments where it's like bright daylight and dark, dark night that like, and everything looked real. One of the things that really impressed me in this film that you didn't really get to see that much of in the original Caesar trilogies is the range of lighting that they had in this movie.
Yes.
At the end of this film kind of takes place in like this, let's just say, closed off area, so there's no light really coming into the place except for what's in it already. And throughout that entire scene, I was just thinking to myself, like, holy shit, like, this looks really good. Like, everything just looks real. There's also water elements to, and everybody in the water interacting with the fur on the apes. And
Yeah, during those scenes, I was like, I was not looking at the effects. I was just fully immersed, like, holy shit, this is happening.
mm-hmm.
So, and looking at it through all like the water scenes, I was just so impressed. Like the quick second I need to realize that this isn't real, I was like, that just looks fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm. And if I had any criticisms, I think the main character, he's got a lot of human elements in his face that kind of take me out of like, that's not a chimpanzee. However, then there's characters like his mom who just look like an old chimpanzee.
Yeah.
And I was just like, holy shit, like, that looks great. There's just so many moments where it was like, the hands, the close up on the hands were things that really like impressed me. It was like, that looks like they just got a guy with a glove on and just did that. But no, that's CG. Also, the environments and everything in the film, like, I don't know if how much of that was CG. Apparently, like, the director of the film has come out and said, like, we filmed everything on location. We built sets. We did everything. So if that is the case, like, holy shit, props also to the set design department because it's really fun to see, like, wither old, like, structure, human structures that apes have kind of built upon. So, like, electrical towers are now being used as homes and nests. Old shipyards and military bases are used as like complete like kingdoms and prison yards and stuff like that. Just very, very fun, like world building in this film because it's kind of like that aspect of post-apocalyptic films that I like of like what useless crap today is the most useful thing in the apocalypse, and that's what I really enjoyed about this film. The movie just looked amazing. And Adrian, I don't
Yeah.
know if you have anything else to say.
No, without like talking about specific scenes yet, I just was lost in a lot of the shots where it just showed environment,
Mm-hmm.
which the movie had a lot of.
Mm-hmm.
Just like scenes where they're just walking through the forest with their horse,
Mm-hmm.
like that little bit at the beginning, you get to see everything. It was
Mm-hmm.
just beautiful to look at, and then just like those journey scenes that are just in there just to show environment is just amazing to look at.
Yeah, I don't know what else we can say without getting into spoilers. Yeah, and before we get into spoilers, is there anything you want to ask us about the film?
Yeah, so do you know, like, could you theorize how long it's been since the death of Caesar?
Um, well, at the beginning of the film, they have a time card that says like many generations later. But from what I have heard from the director of the film, is that it's 200 years after, which
It's
honestly
like a lot.
is a little bit too much in my opinion, judging based off where they are currently, like specific technology that's kind of still around. And if you're
Yeah,
telling me that's 200-year-old technology that's still, working,
still works or is there.
yeah. And there's also a little kind of nitpicky thing that I have a problem with this, but I do understand why they can't do it. If it were 200 years in the future, when we see the human herds, like the mindless herded humans, why do they still have clothes? And how do they recognize to have clothes? Like, I'm not trying to be like a total perv. What I'm just asking is just like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, hold on. But think about it, like you don't see
Okay.
like chimpanzees and or like gorillas thinking, "Oh, I better cover up my nether bits." Like
Have you ever seen dog owners force their pets to wear clothing?
I that's also true. I don't put clothes on my dog, but I do put them in a collar. These are
Yeah.
these are technically wild animals that think it's okay that, oh, I need to put on a bra.
Well, like, oh,
Let
that
me
is
tell you
true.
about this thing called clothing in Neanderthal. I'm just kidding. Well, I don't know. Like, are they caveman levels of intelligent, or are they like literal smooth brain cow intelligent? Like, are they literally drooling as they're being led by the monkeys, or
No, then I
No.
would say caveman because they're smart enough to know danger and when to come out. They like it's not completely mindless.
I don't know. It's just always
that's
something that
probably
like when you have like dumb Neanderthal humans in movies, I don't get the idea of them having clothing. It just seems really odd to me.
well. I mean, if you're a caveman, you're smart enough to know that clothing can have minimal protection against like an attack or better yet, like weather stuff.
Yeah,
Maybe that's what they're
Yes,
going for.
I guess. I don't know. When we see certain humans in this film, they're they're acting like deer. You know what I mean, Adrian? Where they're like
yeah.
cautiously looking everywhere as they're going to like a watering hole, drinking the water. But going back to like the whole like how long does this take place after? Even though the director has said like 200 years after, I'm gonna say it's a lot sooner than that.
Yeah, I was guessing like 40 or 50 years.
I was gonna
Yeah,
guess
because
more like 70 at max.
I could see that because you said like in the title card it says many generations, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to assume it's going off of like monkey generation, so that might be shorter than like a human generation. And like honestly, the idea of a generation itself, I now chat correct me if I'm wrong, but I think a generation literally refers to just the passing of 15 to 20 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a moment
I
where we.
mean, that would make sense. Like what with your answer, like that would make sense. Like 70 years.
Yeah. One of the sets we see in this film is a giant, like, big ass ship, and the whole thing is rusted brown.
Mm,
Now, to be fair, they are close to the ocean, and things that are that close kind of rust faster. But this whole thing is just rust. Complete skyscrapers are covered in like bushes and tree limbs and stuff. So there is that as well. Yen, would you be okay if we get into spoilers?
oh, I don't care at all, dude.
All right. So the human girl we follow throughout most of this film, we first name her Nova because apparently to Raka, that all human females are named Nova.
I think they just named every human Nova.
I thought it was every human female Nova. That was my impression. But I mean, they could just do that too.
We just call them Nova.
Yeah.
Something Caesar did.
We find out from her name is May, and she's like the first human that at least these characters have seen that can talk. So they're like shocked, like, oh my god, this person just talked, this human just talked, like they're not supposed to talk. And we come to find out that there's human colonies that have not been affected by the virus that are still living. That's why like this character at first is seen wearing like jeans and a tank top, where all the other humans are wearing like, well, as Yen put it, like Neanderthal like clothing. So unless jeans and a tank top can survive hundreds of years, I don't think this film takes 200 place 200 years after the original. But yeah, then we also find out uh, what Proximus Caesar's ultimate plan is. He's trying to get into a weapons vault to try and strengthen his kingdom. That way, he can prevent any war from happening between humans and apes. And that's what me and Adrian were saying earlier about like we kind of understand where he's coming from.
Protect the zone. That's all he really wanted to do.
Yeah, he's trying to use May as a way to get into the vault because they're trying everything from like explosives, what was it, like incendiary like devices that would like melt the metal.
Yeah.
something like that. But nothing's working, and May's the only one that he thinks can get into the vault. Turns out she can't get into the vault. And when they do, they find out that it was like it's kind of like a vault from Fallout.
Yeah, as May put it, it was where the leftovers of the government
Mm-hmm.
stayed,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
weird because there were no remains of those people.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, there's no like,
that was kind of weird to me.
there's no skeletons, there's no human remains.
Yeah, there's no traces of human remains.
There's traces because there's like books and like
Well,
little.
yeah, there's books and stuff, but like
Yeah,
those could have been built in way before the humans
I
even
guess, yeah.
housed officially.
But
Like those are already built in, and nothing. We've seen nothing of them.
so yeah, that's where Noah and his two ape companions learn about the history of apes and how they were silent and behind cages and treated like animals.
Yeah,
And
they found all that out from an ABC book.
literally, yeah, a literal like children's like kindergarten book.
I just remember, like, I tried reading it, but the scene was going too fast. The only words I could read from it were "ooh, ah."
Yeah, yeah.
Just the monkey noises is all I could read.
Another really cool like little detail that I liked about that scene is you see a gorilla behind a cage in bars, and that's where Noah gets the idea to defeat that one gorilla.
Oh man, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool like little foreshadow of that fight.
Yeah, man, that was so hidden to me. And
Well,
now that you mentioned like that slight moment in realization
mm-hmm,
leading into that fight, that was the moment. I'm like, holy fuck,
mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how he's like, huh, okay,
cage monkey,
yeah,
wind
cage.
fight, and he drowned.
He did drown. What else? And while the apes are learning about the history of where they came from, May looks around and finds this floppy disk, which pretty much it looked like a
I
floppy
mean,
disk.
yeah, I thought it was, but then it was too big and
Bulky.
it was bulky. It was more like like a massive hard drive.
Yeah, and we're like, what's that about?
Yeah, because I was like, what type of book? She to convince Noah, she like said like, oh, inside is a book that can give humans the ability to speak again.
Mm-hmm.
Which in reality, she wasn't wrong.
No, yeah, they literally go to like a kindergarten room and they find an ABC book and they're like, oh, cool, the symbols on here.
That's not what I was going at, but I'll get into it when we talk about the end of the movie.
Oh, okay. I guess what we could say is May floods the whole fault by blowing up the dam. She floods it.
Destroying everything so the apes cannot use any of it.
Proximus and Noah get into a fight. Proximus just completely dog walks Noah, like peach delicious.
Oh, I never stood a chance.
Never did. But because they are the Eagle clan, they use their eagles and defeat Proximus that way by just sending a bunch of eagles after him.
Yeah, the entire scene was. I was waiting for the eagles to be used.
Yeah.
And I loved the way they used them. Go back to the song and just having all the eagles around. It was awesome. I was so waiting for it, and I was satisfied with how they went about it.
Great character journey for Noah, and the whole like him not feeling confident and learning, like trying to be like his father to being someone different, but still earning the respect of his father's eagle and using that to defeat Proximus, who, as the mom said, does not see the importance of training eagles.
Yeah.
So that was another little bit of foreshadowing that I liked. But yeah, the very end of the film, Noah and May go their separate ways. Not in a very good place.
They left respectably.
Yeah. They both cannot see how humans and apes can live together. Like,
yep.
May is under the belief that, like, we are going to get back what we lost no matter what. And Noah's like, I have to protect what we have. Like, we are not going to get rid of this. And they're like, maybe someday we can come to an agreement on how we're going to go about things. And
so, what basically was the second film?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, it just almost sounds like a repeat.
But done in a way that, like, kind of makes sense for this world.
Yeah, of course.
Noah and his apes are now going to, like, grow bigger and better naturally. They're going to figure out a way to defend themselves better so that something like what happened in this movie doesn't happen again. And we find that May finds another human colony, and with the hard drive that she has, they use that to contact other human settlements, and now basically implying that humans are kind of learning or not learning. Or,
It allowed humans to talk again.
yeah,
Next, that's what I was going to go into. This little bit allowed them to talk to each other again.
That's so smart. Okay, yeah, I didn't get that. I was just like, oh, cool. But yeah, now they have communications with other human settlements, and the implication is they are gonna develop their own society again and try to take back the world that they lost. And yeah, that's where the film ends. But before it ends, they do make a point to look up into the sky. And to me, that implies that they may be doing what the first film did in having astronauts land back down on Earth and learning that this is Earth in the future. That's what I thought, but again, the film could be implying something different, but yeah, I'm very excited to see where they take this series.
Oh, I am so excited.
Like, I don't know if this is going to be Noah's trilogy or if this is going to be May's trilogy or both for that matter, because I think it'd be really cool if like we get a series of movies where it's just like we get two main characters. Yeah, we get two main characters on both sides.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I get a little confused at the ending. I told you this before when the movie ended, but I'll say it now. The ending looked like it focused more on the human side, and then that's why I'm afraid where the future movies will be more human in a Planet of the Apes series. Well, there's so much focus drawn in the humans that kind of got scared a little.
Well, the initial film is like the main character is a human, and the apes are the villains.
Yeah.
So it's not completely out of new territory for this film series to do that. But I feel like with these series having like the Caesar trilogy and this movie having such like an ape-focused main character, I do think we're gonna have more about Noah and his colony of people.
Yeah, and I think the way Noah's developed in this movie is terrific because we're not getting a carbon copy of Caesar. We're getting a new character with his own beliefs and how he's going to raise his own colony. Mm-hmm. It's just going to be so much fun to see where this goes.
He has kindness to humans, but he's not like he doesn't
prioritizing.
He doesn't trust them. Let's just say that. Like May has completely destroyed that trust he had for humans, and that's what I kind of like about this film. And again, what you said about like he's his own character. We're not going to get another Caesar. Like Caesar had 3 movies to be his own main character. This is something different. So I'm really, really looking forward to how this even the titles of the film are. I'm really excited to hear what it's going to be. Like, is it going to be Empire of the Planet of the Apes?
The Apes Strike Back.
Yeah.
A new ape. Wait, I got something for you. The apening. The gapening.
Oh my god.
Riddle me this.
God damn it. I mean, I want to talk about some scenes that we didn't really talk about that really stood out to me. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about visuals, and I wanted to bring this up, but it was kind of a spoiler, was the bridge scene.
Oh, yeah.
Like when you were talking about like the water effects.
Holy shit, man. Like, okay, so yeah, that mainly Raka is an orangutan with like long orange hair. And I was like, oh man, okay, they're going to probably save some money and not have him go in the water because then it's going to be like, nope, he gets in the water and holy hell, man. Like, I was like, wait, that's a CG ape. That's not real. Like, the water effects look so damn good.
Yeah, and then, mixing in with May as well.
Yeah, and his hair, like, is wet and like it sticks to the body.
And then you see that with the other ones, but it's because Raka is a different color. You can really see it.
I was like, holy shit! Like, I was just blown away by how the movie looks, And yeah, that scene, great one to point out.
And I also just kind of want to talk about the visuals in the beginning of the film, like
What?
the scene where they're trying to retrieve the egg.
Oh yeah, that was
And,
cool.
and then just the visuals there were just really good.
Mhm.
But to me, during that scene, I was like, I can really see the CGI. And the first three movies, I couldn't really see it.
Mhm.
Because they kind of threw me off. But I'm not knocking at it. It's just I could see it a lot more.
I think what it is they are trying to map human features onto things that don't have human features. So like Noah's eyes are like very human like. They're not like that that look that chimpanzees really have. It's like those huge ears and big teeth and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
Like it's not that look. It looks more human. Like in motion, it's like that doesn't look real. But then there's moments where it's like the moments where he's just standing still and nothing's moving, like or in like very minimal movements, like maybe like the shakiness of breath and nervousness and anxiety kind of thing. Like those moments were really, really good.
Yeah. Like, two scenes come to mind is when Noah's in the forest and he hears the rustling
Yeah.
from me at the time, and then the other one is when he's in his hut with, I think it was the fish, where May also shows up.
Oh, that's
But like
right.
when
Yeah. And the
like
smoke.
yeah, in that scene, like you could see the tense change in that film,
Hmm.
and you can really like see him breathing hard. You can even imagine his heart racing because of the sound that scared him.
Hmm.
Like in that scene, I could feel what that character was feeling.
Hmm. God, this film looks so good. And it's also cheaper
Yeah,
than most films today.
that's the crazy part.
That's crazy to me. Like this film had an $160 million budget, and movies like Indiana Jones and The Dial of Destiny had a $300 million budget.
That's crazy.
What is going on here?
I mean, kind of going off track because Indiana Jones. I think most of that was casting,
That's
paying your
true.
actors.
That's true. Yeah, there's not a lot of
So
big name actors in this film. Like the biggest name we get in this
no,
film.
and I loved all of them.
No, the biggest name we get in this film is William H. Macy's in the film as the other human that helps Proximus learn about technology and how to become an emperor and stuff like that. Like that's the biggest name we get out of this film. I recognize the main actress because I watched The Witcher and she's in The Witcher. She's one of the main girls in Witcher. I'm glad that she's gonna have a series that actually will do something with her.
Yeah, all I know is wood.
Jesus Christ. I mean, I don't blame you, man. She is a whew.
Yeah, I was thinking like when I first saw it, I was like wood. But wait, we don't know how old she is in this movie.
Yeah. But I think she's like
I imagine like 18, 20, young adult.
legal.
Yeah, legal. A very important word. Okay, kind of going off her again. Can we talk about her revolver shot?
Oh yeah.
That's impressive.
So okay, again, let me lay this scene out for you. You with me?
Yeah.
So just imagine, your monkey girlfriend has a knife to her throat by a bonobo, and this girl who probably has never shot a gun in her life managed just to shoot this ape, the bonobo, I should say, in the heart, or at least in the chest area.
While holding
While holding the monkey
her
girlfriend
chest.
in front of him. So that bullet did a full on like whoop, and hit the guy.
Yeah, I first saw that, and then I see the wound. I'm like, holy shit!
Yeah.
How the fuck did she aim that?
Like, here's the thing. It would have been realistic if she got a headshot in that scenario more than an actual like shot to the chest.
Yeah,
Because at
like
least
you
then
can,
it's exposed.
like, you couldn't even tell it was a heart shot
Mm-hmm.
until you saw the bullet. Like, yeah, you saw the ape like getting weaker. Oh, it probably got hit somewhere. Just not really the heart, but just somewhere that it just loosened his grip. But nah, heart shot, dead.
Uh-huh. Even the ape was like, wait, how the fuck does that work?
How you do that? You got more of that?
Yeah, that's a great. Oh God, I forgot about that part. I also really
Yeah,
appreciated how like the apes still use sign language. Like that is just a given.
yeah, I did like that angle a lot because like, and then they can also speak, but they just use it as like a hidden language.
Very
It's like when
true.
my mom talks to me in Tagalog around white people, doesn't want to say anything bad in English, so she tells me in Tagalog.
Very true. Very true.
I just love that angle as a foreigner. Yeah, she just when she wants to say something mean, but doesn't want anyone to hear. She's just like it just says it in Tagalog.
Hmm.
No one will know what. No one will know.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, that's all I really got to say about this film. It's a really good. I'm happy that we can end off May Monkey Madness on a good note.
Yeah, I just love this film, and when I'm like looking back at my thoughts on the negatives I want to say about it,
Hmm.
it's just like some like really nitpicky plot holes. But
Yeah.
it does. But if they were to be there, it would ruin the movie. So I'm fine with what we have.
Yeah. I'm. My biggest nitpick you guys already heard was like the clothing thing, but then Yen didn't even see the movie and he can back the film up on that.
I'm just that good.
Thank you, Yen. So far, have we sold the film to you pretty well, or this series overall? Because you haven't watched any of these films with us. Now, that being said, you are busy, and I'm not blaming you for being busy. Get that money. But as we've gone along and talked about these movies and this new film, are you looking forward to watching these movies on your own time?
Very. That's for pretty much all of them, but I will say for this newest one, unfortunately, not as much simply because I didn't hear any crazy conspiracy theories about pedophiles.
God,
Okay, I'm kidding. I actually do want to watch all these movies and especially the new one because I have seen the trailer for it while
uh-huh.
watching TV.
Hmm.
So it does look pretty. It looks like a movie that I'd probably enjoy a lot, actually.
Yeah. I guess on that note, I just want to give a big thank you to everybody who's been watching all of these. Again, we've had a lot of fun doing it, and getting to go back and have fun talking about these movies was just a highlight of my year so far. It's also been a very tough time of the year for me with all these movie reviews. So I really appreciate you guys giving them some love. So far, at least at the time of recording, there has been no confirmed sequel to this film. But if there is, what I hope to do is we cover the original films in the Planet of the Apes series. So I'm talking about the films from the frickin' 60s, man. Back when they were really racist and really problematic. So that means we're going to have a whole lot of fun talking about them here on the channel.
What's
So
wrong with that?
I
Yeah, what's wrong?
move on. That way I don't look like a complete ass.
Answer the question.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Wait, what am I? What am
I mean,
I?
you sold me on a racist.
Well, then I
Are
don't.
they apes?
Yes. Actually, no, they're
Oh, God.
humans because the apes are on top in that series.
As they should be.
Maybe that's something we could do. We could talk about the original. It depends because there's
Mm.
5 films in that original series that we could talk about.
Jesus.
Yeah. So it's up to you guys if you guys want to do all 5 in one go, or do you want to break it up in between?
Are the plots of the older films nearly identical to the recent 3?
No. Well,
Wow.
I mean, Caesar is technically in the original films. Actually,
Oh
no.
wait, no, because they focus on Cornelius too, don't they?
Well,
We don't really get Cornelius in the
Cornelius
recent one.
in the original films is not related to Caesar. Well, oh wait, no wait, oh shit, no. Uh, let's just say the original Planet of the Apes films have to deal with time travel.
Huh?
So yeah, I don't want to get too much into the whole because when I said yeah, Cornelius isn't related to Caesar, he technically is, but not in the way you're expecting. So I don't want to spoil that.
Monkeying around with time. What the fuck is this bullshit in the 70s, man?
Well, whenever we get to cover those films, it's gonna be a lot of fun because I do like a good. Let's say I like 2 of them. The 2 that I have seen, I really like.
Okay.
But yeah, thank you guys for watching this series. I guess what you guys can look forward to on the channel as well. For the months of June and July, we are going to be covering all of the X-Men movies. and I do mean all. And not only the X-Men movies, but we're going to be covering X-Men 97. So that's 13 films and one TV show, all leading up to Deadpool and Wolverine. So yeah, look forward to that. So that's going to be 2 videos a week for 7 weeks straight. Yep. Now, I will say, just like the release schedule of these videos, not all of them are most likely going to be out on time, but they will try. I will try to get them out as soon as I can because that is a lot of videos. But yeah, I hope you guys do enjoy what we have in store, and I cannot wait for you guys to experience what we are going to be called X Marathon. I guess that's all I could say. Do you guys have anything to say before we end off May Monkey Madness?
What he said.
All right. I'm Max Kellerholz, and thank you for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I hope you all have a good day.